So, okay, better, thank you. So we are now doing temporomandibular joint. Okay. So see here. Now if you observe, see this bone is like in the skull bone, we know on the lateral aspect we have temporal bone. So inferior aspect of the temporal bone will show one fossa. Okay. That is the mandibular fossa in the temporal bone. Just now, when we have seen the mandible, we have seen there is one projection, that is the condyloid process or the head of the mandible. So the head of the mandible, which is also called as condyloid process, it goes and fits into the mandibular fossa, which is seen in the temporal bone, okay, to form temporomandibular joint. Okay, it is bicondylar synovial joint. Above you will see the mandibular fossa of temporal bone. Below you see the head of the mandible. Okay. Now see here. It's also an essay question, but a very, very important. Please pay attention. See upper, see this one is upper one. Okay. The upper articular surface is the articular fossa. Okay. And there is an like projection here, which is called as articular eminence. Okay. Now, when you just see the curvature of this upper articular surface, it will be concavo-convex. Okay, from behind forwards. Okay, concavo-convex. Okay, behind and then front. Then coming to lower articular surface, this is head. Okay, of the mandible. It is elliptical in shape. It is covered with fibrocartilage. Like any other joint, we know basically all other joints, if you remember, like suppose if you talk about shoulder joint, what is the cartilage which covers the glenoid cavity and head of the humerus? What cartilage do we have there?
Hyaline.
Very good, hyaline cartilage. But see here, what is the cartilage? It's quite strong. Head of the mandible, it is covered by fibrocartilage and not hyaline cartilage. Hence, temporomandibular joint is atypical type of synovial joint. Okay. Like that means it is different from other type of synovial joints. Okay. All other synovial joints you will have hyaline cartilage, also called as articular cartilage, but it is quite strong here. You have fibrocartilage. Okay. Then now see here, beta. Now this is concavo-convex superior mandibular fossa, and this is the head of the mandible. Okay, the margins of all these throughout like round, it gives attachment to this fibrous capsule. Okay, the fibrous capsule is attached to the head and also the neck of the mandible. Superiorly, it is attached to the margins of the mandibular fossa in the temporal bone. Okay, inferiorly also it is surrounded all around. Inside the joint, you will find one disc, that is the intra-articular disc, okay, which is dividing the joint cavity into two compartments. You can see above the intra-articular disc you have upper compartment, below you have lower compartment. Okay, menisco-temporal compartment, menisco-mandibular compartment. Near to mandible, menisco-mandibular. Near to temporal bone, menisco-temporal. Like that. Okay. Now see here, beta. See the joint cavity, it is divided. See, this is the blue fibrocartilage. This is our mandibular fossa. This is head of the mandible. The outside we have is the fibrous capsule, green dotted lines. Intra-articular disc, blue in color. Above, what is the name of the compartment? Menisco-temporal compartment. Below, what is the name of the compartment? Menisco-mandibular compartment. Okay. So, menisco-temporal and menisco-mandibular compartments by intra-articular disc of fibrocartilage. Then the upper compartment, we have gliding movements. Lower compartment, gliding as well as rotational movements. Okay. So, these are the movements permissible at the joint. Okay. Now, what are the, like any other joint, whether it is shoulder joint or knee joint or elbow joint, under what headings we usually study, what is the type of joint, then we will talk about fibrous capsule, what are the ligaments involved, then movements, isn't it? Then relations, then applied aspects. Similarly, here also, now let us see about the joint capsule. Inside we have the intra-articular disc. The various ligaments we have here are lateral ligament. I will elaborate everything. Then accessory ligaments are there, like from the sphenoid spine of the sphenoid bone, you have this sphenomandibular ligament. From the styloid process to the angle of the mandible, we have stylomandibular ligament. Two are shown here. Stylomandibular and sphenomandibular are shown. Other pictures we have seen articular disc and fibrous capsule. Only lateral ligament we should see. Okay. Now see here, this is the articular disc inside, which is fibrocartilage. The upper covering of the head of the mandible is also fibrocartilage. And we know like this intra-articular disc is the remnant of which muscle? What muscle is getting inserted here?
Lateral pterygoid.
Lateral pterygoid. So upper surface, you can see it is concavo-convex, which is fitting against the articular eminence and concavity of the articular fossa. Nothing but mandibular fossa. It is congruent along the mandibular fossa. Then this is the inferior surface, which is concave, and it is fitting at the convexity of the head of the mandible. This convex head, and this is the concave inferior aspect of the articular disc. They fit in each other. This is fitting and this is fitting. Okay. So peripheral, this is the periphery of the disc. This is also periphery of the disc. So the periphery of the disc, we have the attachment of fibrous capsule. Okay. This diagram I have already shown. Upper meniscotemporal, below meniscomandibular compartments. Now parts of the articular disc. Now see, this is all completely articular disc. Okay. Now see here, it has anterior extension, which is towards the fibrous capsule. Then we have the anterior like thick band. Then we have intermediate zone. Then we have posterior thick band. Then this is the posterior bilaminar zone. Posterior bilaminar zone. Okay. So these are the parts of intra-articular disc. Okay, I am telling, see, front is anterior extension. Behind, you have is posterior bilaminar zone. Just a minute, better. So now see, I hope you have seen this intra-articular disc and its parts thoroughly. Okay. Now, coming to the outermost covering. So the outermost covering is nothing but the fibrous capsule. So above it is attached to the articular tubercle circumference of the mandibular fossa. Okay. And nearby you will have a fissure. You call it as squamotympanic fissure. Okay. Below it is coming and it is getting attached to the neck of the mandible. Okay. It is loose above the intra-articular disc and it is tight below it. That means above it is permitting certain gliding type of movements. It is loose above. That means at meniscotemporal compartment, and it is tight in the meniscomandibular compartment. Okay. So now, this is the only ligament which we didn't see, I said, right? Hema, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
See, this is the side view, lateral view of the skull bone, where you are finding temporal bone, external acoustic meatus, mastoid process, zygomatic arch, isn't it? These are orbits. This is maxilla bone. This is mandible, coronoid process, condyloid process, ramus, angle, body. Now, this is the lower border of the zygomatic process, isn't it? From the lower border of the zygomatic process, you can see the lateral ligament is coming downwards, backwards, and it is getting attached to the posterior border of the ramus of the mandible, isn't it? Almost up to the head and up to the neck of the mandible. So this is lateral ligament. Apart from lateral ligament, what is this process? Styloid process. From the styloid process to the angle of the mandible, what is the name of this ligament? Hansraj? Stylomandibular ligament. Isn't it better? Yeah, very good. Stylomandibular ligament. Okay. So now see here, this is lateral temporomandibular ligament is this. This is the true ligament thickening on the lateral aspect of the capsule. You will see it running downwards, backwards. Okay. So from above, it is very closely related to the articular tubercle, and this is the root of the zygomatic process. Then below it is going up to the neck of the mandible, posterolateral aspect of the neck of the mandible. So overall, it strengthens the lateral aspect of capsule. As such, ligaments are nothing but thickenings what you see over the capsule, isn't it? Any joint. So this is lateral ligament. Okay, this is the fibrous capsule. Over fibrous capsule, this thickening whatever we have is lateral ligament, also called as temporomandibular. See, you need not elaborate so much better, like sphenomandibular ligament. From the spine of the sphenoid bone it comes, and it is getting, now see, this is the interior aspect of the ramus of the mandible. Okay, here you will have a tongue-like projection which is actually called as lingula. So it is actually attached to the margins of the lingula. Okay, that is. So it is attached above to the spine of the sphenoid bone and below to the lingula. Okay, and to the lower margin of the mandibular foramen of the mandible. Okay, that much you remember. Then relations, just few relations you can remember about this sphenomandibular ligament. So laterally it is related to, see, this is our sphenomandibular ligament. It's related to lateral pterygoid muscle, auriculotemporal nerve, the one which is going like this, supplying the scalp, maxillary artery, and inferior alveolar vessels and nerves. Medially it is related to medial pterygoid, cauda tympani nerve, and wall of pharynx. Okay. Then apart from that, the supporting ligaments, we have accessory stylomandibular, okay, from the styloid process to the angle of the mandible. Okay, that much you remember, it's enough better. So stylomandibular ligament, if you remember, it is formed by the thickening of the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. Okay. So this ligament becomes taut, that means fully stretched when the mandible is protruded. Now coming to the relations of stylomandibular ligament, laterally it is related to skin and fascia and parotid gland and temporal branches of facial nerve. Two or three relations you can remember. Medially, this stylomandibular, it's related to tympanic plate, separating it from internal carotid artery, spine of the sphenoid bone, auriculotemporal nerve, middle meningeal artery, sphenomandibular ligament, cauda tympani. Anteriorly, tendon of lateral pterygoid, masseteric nerve and vessels. Posteriorly, postglenoid part of the parotid gland, external acoustic meatus, superficial temporal vessels, and auriculotemporal nerve. Now, relations are actually like any other joint. Here, even in the temporomandibular joint, we should know the relations. Okay. So, in front, we have lateral pterygoid, temporalis, masseteric vessels, and nerves. Behind, we have parotid gland, external acoustic meatus, auriculotemporal nerve. Laterally, it is subcutaneous. You can just feel it. Behind the ear, subcutaneous. Once you break the joint, you can see medial relations. You can see insertion of this muscle, right? So medially it is related to lateral pterygoid, spine of sphenoid, cauda tympani. This requires little bit of imagination, but of course it's not so difficult also. Above it is related to middle cranial fossa. Okay. So what is the name of this nerve you are seeing on the screen? Hema?
Trigeminal, ma'am.
Okay. What is this number 1 division?
Ophthalmic.
Very good, beta. Hansraj.
What?
Middle one, ophthalmic.
Axillary.
Okay. Okay.
Second is maxillary. Third one is
Mandible.
Mandible.
mandibular. Do you remember I told you it has one main trunk, then it has anterior division and then posterior division, right?
Mm.
For posterior division, I gave you one code, ALI, isn't it? Ali, auriculotemporal, lingual, and inferior alveolar.
Inferior alveolar.
Very good. Anterior division, it gives branches to muscles of mastication and buccal nerve. No? From main trunk, you have directly medial pterygoid. Then from anterior division, branches to lateral pterygoid, masseter, and temporalis and buccal nerve. Isn't it better? If you revise like this, you will remember more. Okay, this is again Gray's anatomy picture. But that picture which is given in Vishram Singh is easy to memorize and easy to draw. Okay, now coming to the blood supply of temporomandibular joint, what are the nearby blood vessels we have? Superficial temporal artery, maxillary artery. Nerve supply, auriculotemporal nerve, ascitic nerve. Okay, then factors maintaining the stability of joints, see bones are there, surrounding ligaments, muscles, and also the position of mandible. Okay, so now coming to the various movements, protrusion. So the simultaneous actions of medial and lateral pterygoid, retraction, posterior fibers of temporalis. Just a minute. So retraction, which muscle with a posterior fibers of temporalis. Okay. Then elevation, masseter temporalis, medial pterygoid. Depression, I told you this is the only muscle which helps in opening of the mouth, lateral pterygoid. Along with that, you can write many other muscles like geniohyoid, mylohyoid, digastric. Okay. Side to side, both pterygoids, medial and lateral pterygoids, they act alternately. See
Thanks, ma'am.
this table I have taken from Vishram Singh again. You can see depression, the list of muscles, lateral pterygoid, digastric, genioid, mylohyoid, gravity, elevation, masseter, medial pterygoid, temporalis, protrusion, medial and lateral pterygoid, retraction, posterior fibers of temporalis, side to side, medial and lateral pterygoids. Okay, beta? So then we have this dislocation of mandible. Okay, you can see basically the head of the mandible is supposed to be in the mandibular fossa, isn't it? Now suppose if it is moving up outwards, sometimes when we do uneven type of opening of the mouth, as when we yawn very unevenly, then what happens? The head of the mandible may slip from this mandibular fossa and then it may move forwards, leading to dislocation of mandible. Okay, which is in forward direction. Forceful opening of mouth. The dislocation is treated by elevating the chin and just you are trying to just throw the head of the mandible in proper way. Elevate it and try to just push it behind and try to see that it is fixed in the mandibular fossa. Okay, something like this. Press the premolar teeth downwards, at the same time press the underneath of his chin upwards and backwards. Out of practice you will get better this one. So that is replacing. Hope you understood better.
Yes, ma'am.